So let's pull up the mainsail. One-handed. That is the weirdest boat I have ever seen. The anchor is up and we are underway. I had to use the windlass, so it's really buried in the sand good there. And the boat even decided to sail the right way, away from the island. It's about a 50-50 chance which way it decides to go. Off to Ireland. Looks like we're gonna beat the rain. For this passage, I'm playing around with this weather routing app called Predict Wind. It's got some interesting features. You can see at the beginning of the passage we have this low pressure system to the north of us, but I think we'll stay south of that, so it shouldn't be an issue for us. And then a little later in the passage, there's another low pressure system. It's actually much stronger coming through. I'm seeing like 50 knots of wind in that, but I think the forecast is kind of too far out on that to trust it, so we'll just continue as we are. So we just got to the end of the island and we lost our wind, so I'm gonna go forward and try to take that anchor off the front. A little bit of wave action though. This anchor weighs like 50 pounds, so it's kind of a challenge to get off. Take the bolt out of here. Now I just gotta separate these in two pieces. I really should sandblast this anchor and repaint it one day. The reason I'm taking the anchor off and putting it in the bilge is for better weight distribution, because I won't be needing it for a couple weeks. So I got the foam in here to protect the hull. I'm gonna slide this guy back in there. And then ratchet snap. Okay. So we're not off to a very inspiring start. The sails are just flopping around and the wind keeps going from all directions. And so do the waves. But there's not much of either. I'm gonna take that flag down because I don't need that anymore. Hopefully if we get around this end of this island, maybe things will get better. Oh boy, just got real windy. Went from almost no wind at all to probably 18 knots. Got the rail in the water. I'm gonna go put the first reef in the sail. I really wish I knew where all this water was coming in from. Definitely not looking forward to beating into the wind for 3 days, but I think I'm gonna have to just suck it up and do it. We have been on a collision course with this ship right here for the last 30 minutes, and he's getting pretty close. It looks like he's gonna come within, okay, maybe half a mile now. It was less, but yeah, he's less than a mile away. You can see his lights out there pretty clearly. That container ship finally passed in front of us. It was less than a quarter mile. It's really annoying that he got so close, but now I can finally stop keeping an eye on him. So for the first 12 hours of our trip, we've been averaging 5 knots, very good. And it's a little uncomfortable. We're definitely beating into the wind, but the waves actually aren't too big yet, and then we do get some that come over, and I left the companionway open. I got some water in the boat, but it's not horrible. Fortunately, I can tilt my bunk, so the heeling's not too bad. We're heeled pretty good. I just have the second reef in, and that seems to be doing just fine. So I just woke up, and the wind had shifted a little bit, so we were headed towards Africa, which is the wrong direction. So I tacked the boat, and now we're still not headed to Ireland, but we are making, I don't know, making some progress north a little bit. I really hate sailing to windward on offshore passages. It is really no fun. That in conjunction with me kind of getting my sea legs again, because I haven't done a big sailing passage in a few weeks. It's like takes a few days to be able to move with the boat easily. It's like twice as rough because of that. So day number 2, it's turned out to be quite a nice day of sailing. The only problem is we're aimed out towards Greenland instead of Ireland, where I want to go. And we're, I think we've done, 40 miles so far today, and maybe like 5 or 10 have been actually towards the direction we want to go. But I'm not complaining too much because it's been pretty comfortable. We're moving along at 4 knots, so spirits are high, and I'm starting to finally get my sea legs a little bit, but still taking it easy. Just I've been watching some videos because it hasn't been too much work to do sailing wise. So tomorrow or tonight, I think the wind is probably gonna die out, so I'll enjoy it while I can. But who knows, maybe it'll hold out. It's actually probably good that we're going upwind if the wind's gonna get really weak, because then we have the parent wind going past us and we'll keep the sails full easier. So I've been downloading my weather grid files, kind of keeping an eye on that, because there is a low pressure system that's gonna have some wind up to maybe 40 or 50 knots moving above us. And when I left, I was counting on that passing before we reached it, and it still looks like that's going to be the case. There's still a chance it could like stall out or go south, but I don't think it will. I think we're going to just pass right underneath it, and then that will kind of dissolve. Hopefully it won't make the waves too big when we finally pass through there. I think it'll have time to calm down. And then there's actually, looking at the way far out forecast, there's supposed to be another pressure system right behind it, low pressure system, that was going to be even stronger, but I really don't trust it that far out, so I wasn't going to make a decision to delay the trip because of that. So I'm keeping an eye on it, and it looks like that second one, it's still too far out. I don't really, it does something different every time I look at it. So I'm using Predict Wind in conjunction with LuckGrib. I just kind of got used to the LuckGrib file with the Iridium Go, but now I have a Predict Wind subscription, which the best thing I like about Predict Wind is the map, which I'm sharing now on my website. I'll put a link in the description. That lets everybody see where I'm at, and it also shows the wind, and I can show little blog entries, little text entries that can show people what I'm up to. So I think that's a pretty cool feature. It also has a European model, which is historically more accurate, and a few other proprietary models, so it gives you more information. You can kind of average them out or compare, see what the different models say. The winds lightened and shifted more west as predicted, and that has made for actually really nice sailing. I was worried it was going to get too light, and then it would keep me up all night when the sails need to be adjusted and things like that. But nope, we stayed on course all night. There was just only one instance where the boat actually only hove to. But after I sorted that out, we're making progress pretty much due north, which is more towards Iceland. But I want to get as much northing as I can in, because once the wind strengthens, I want to have that ability to bear off and not point so hard onto the wind if we get into a gale or something. And having the boat more north, kind of westerly of Ireland, will give us the possibility to bear off without losing too much ground. So I've been really nice sailing right now. It's a little bit overcast, but I think the sun will probably come out. Usually comes out a little later. I'm just making myself one of these San Miguel pineapples. They are so delicious. I think maybe the best pineapple I've ever had. I wish I got 2 of them. I seem to have sailed into a bit of a rain squall. Sometimes I think it would be nice to have one of those catamarans where you weren't constantly heeled over on one side. That could be kind of nice. Although probably in a couple of days I just get used to it again, and it won't bother me. It's actually kind of fun, as long as you can anticipate the way the boat's going to move. So I think I figured out a solution for the standing water on the floor here. Wouldn't be a proper samholmessailing episode without drilling a hole in the boat. Sweet. And then when we're heeled over that side, I'll get that one. So it was kind of a bummer. I just caught a fish. It wasn't huge, but it would have made a couple meals. And right as I was pulling it out of the water into the boat, it came off the hook. but where there's one, there's probably more, so maybe I'll catch another one. Today is day 4 of our passage to Ireland. We did really good speed overnight. We averaged 6.1 knots for the last 24 hours. So we covered like 145 miles, I guess. The waves are about 10 feet. They're not really showing up on camera because they're big and rolly. I feel like we must have some type of current boost because it doesn't feel like we're moving as fast as the GPS says we are. I haven't done this many miles since I was in the Gulf Stream last year, going around Florida. Cooking cheese on the floor. Cooking cheese on the floor. Nice sunset over there. The waves are about 12 feet now. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take advantage of the light, and I'll put my next reef in the sail. I just reefed the main and the jib. Unfortunately, I slowed us down a little too much, so I decided to let the jib back out. And once the wind picks up tonight, I'll just come out here and I'll roll up the jib so it's real small. But we slowed down to about a little less than 3 knots at first, and now I think we're going closer to 4. So that's more. I can deal with 4 knots. It started raining super hard outside. We're doing 6.5 knots. I don't know how much wind there is. Probably about 25 knots of wind right now, maybe gusting to 30. Ooh, pretty big waves every once in a while washing over the boat. It's getting kind of crazy out there. Really glad I got that 4th reef in there earlier. I need to roll up a little bit of jib now, just to slow us down a little more. I mean, the next step after this would be to go either heave to or go bare poles, but they're both behaving pretty well, so I might just continue on this course. So every time I get hit by a wave, I'm noticing a lot of water coming in somewhere through back here. Maybe from the cockpit. Somewhere. Wow. We're seeing winds well into the 30s now. Waves are about 15 feet. I'm gonna try to bear off a little bit, maybe run with it for a while, because we're digging the leeward coming into the water quite often, and I'm seeing a lot of salt water getting down into the cabin too when that happens. I'm not sure where exactly it's coming from, but it's a little rough to be going around trying to figure that out right now. Well, bearing off seems to have made a significant difference in the boat. It's doing a lot better right now. I'll have to see what happens when the next big series of gusts comes through, because we are kind of in a lull, but it's healing considerably less now. We're getting a lot of water coming over here, so I bared the boat off, so we're 135 degrees to the wind. I go further off, but hopefully we won't dig the rail in as much, because this gets completely underwater every once in a while. These waves are getting impressive. A ton of water coming in through here. I think I figured out the cause. The hinge in the back of that cockpit locker, it's this hinge right here. The pin broke, and this is the one that I had replaced, but I guess we didn't use the appropriate type of metal for that, because it's either rust and broke. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do as a stopgap is I'm just going to put some screws in there so it can't come loose. I think it's lifting up when the water comes over here and it's getting into the boat. I would hate for this thing to fall all the way off and just be a giant gaping hole. Especially if we get in a position where we have to just deploy a drogue and might have waves washing over the back of the boat. We're going to need to... Ooh, it's rocky. We need to batten down the hatches, I guess, is the term. So looking in here, yeah, that stuff's definitely wet down there. Looks like the battery is covered up good, that's good. Alright, so I can put screws that go through the lid into this fiberglass. I think that'll be the way to go. So we can reuse the hole in here. Reuse the hole here. Alright, that side's good. Just one more screw here. That seems pretty tight. So hopefully that won't let any water in. I just put some screws directly into the fiberglass. Of course, that'll be pretty easy just to patch up once I get to port and I find a new hinge. And I took all these dock lines out because those are the one things I'll need when I get to port, wherever that may be. I was considering, I'm looking at a pretty bad low pressure system arriving in Ireland at the same time as I do. So I'm leaving the possibility open to diverting to France. I hadn't really considered that before the passage, but it looks like that might be a better way to avoid the dodge of the tiller here, the bad weather. If not, I think I'm gonna get my series drogue out of here. Get that thing attached when the weather calms down a little bit, and then that'll be ready to throw over in case I need it. Of course, we're looking at gusts up to 58 knots. We've been taking the waves on our beam on the side of the boat all day, and it's kind of obnoxious and tolling, just because every once in a while you just get jolted across the boat as a wave hits you on the side of the boat. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow because the wind's going to shift more to the west, and so we'll have the wind a little bit more behind us, and it won't be quite as bad. The battery monitor just went on the fritz. It started blinking and doing crazy things, and now it's just completely dead. Unfortunately, I screwed my locker shut with the batteries and all that stuff in it. So I'm assuming it probably got pretty wet, the shunt and everything in there, and maybe I can just clean up those wires later. But it seems like The Iridium Go, my satellite weather device, is fritzing out. Usually you fold the antenna down and it turns off to reset, but it won't reset, so holding the power button, it just says turn the antenna. I'm gonna pull the batteries out, maybe that'll fix it. I've been cooped up in the cabin for the last couple of days, and every once in a while a wave still washes over the boat, but I think it's probably calm enough. I need to go outside and put the sail. We need to put the sails all the way up right now. That's in the 4th reef, and I think we can go probably sail all the way up. Oh, and the weather system, there was a really bad looking weather system in the forecast. That's moved further north, so it's not going to be in our way, so it should be, you know, no more than 30 knots the rest of the way to what's the town in Ireland we're going to? Kinsale we're heading towards. Oh yeah, the waves are a lot smaller now. It's still rocking pretty good, but not as much as before. And we need to put up more sail. This will not do. I'll just ease the main out. That should help make the sail easier to put out. Come on, you. Ooh, looks like the halyard might have fallen in the water. Okay, happy to say I got the full sail up now, and now we are just blasting along. Let's see how fast we're going. We're doing 6 knots now, and I can bear off a little bit too. Probably get that closer to 7. If I just bear off just a little bit. Yeah, now we're doing 6.5 knots straight to Ireland. I'm gonna enjoy the sun a little bit. Actually getting the boat going faster, I think, has reduced the amount of waves splashing over because we were going so slow. Or maybe we were hitting them more on our beam, now we're kind of going into them, so the Dodger blocks it. But I'm gonna enjoy the sun right now because it might not last too long. Day 6, it's been kind of rainy, on and off. I just jibed the boom and pulled out the Genoa out there. I slowed us down a little bit actually. Probably faster to go to angle downwind, but I'd like to go straight towards where I'm at, towards Ireland. So I just woke up because something felt wrong. And I think I might have blown out the mainsail, but we were wing on wing, and then the boat looks like it jibed. I've got the boom prevented over, but we may have just ripped out the what's the tack or something. Let me go out there and investigate. That doesn't look good. I think I might have ripped out the. Oh man, I got the main sorted out. Of course, it all happens while it's raining. Fortunately, it wasn't crazy windy. It was maybe only 15 knots of wind, but it didn't break anything. Yeah, it was actually nothing broke. I broke maybe one sail slide. The end of the sail came untied, and it came all the way out of the track on the boom, and it was all bunched up by the mast. And so it took me probably 45 minutes to get that installed, and then I was so dumb. When I rolled the jib up, I did it sloppy. And then when I went to put it back out, I hooked the pole onto one of the wraps, the sheet wraps, and not on the actual sheet where it came off the jib. And then when I came to unroll it, it was all wrapped up, and I had to basically disconnect both the sheets on the jib and rerun both of them. I lost one of them in the water, so I had to go put the other one on this side, and then I had to run the other one back on the other side. It was basically re-rigging the whole boat, and I ran them wrong, of course, so then I had to redo it and reroute lines around them, and oh my gosh, yeah, it was at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half now I think of it. But now we're sailing again. Boat's pretty happy. I got it all set up and then the wind shifted, so I'm gonna have to go take the pole down in a few minutes, but I just need to take a break. And I'm soaking wet. Woke me up, I guess. I've been most of the passage has been pretty easy, so fair enough. I have to do a little bit of work today. Making some spaghetti for lunch today. Need to warm myself up after working in the rain for like 2 hours today. We're back to beating to windward again. The wind is circling the compass right now, so it's going to go a full 360. So I noticed that reefing line right there is chafing pretty badly, so that will need to be replaced before my next large passage. I'm also going to try to find a replacement bilge pump in either Ireland or United Kingdom. And a few other things I've got to do on my list. I need to replace the prop zinc. That was looking pretty bad actually, even when I left North Carolina. Should have done that when the water was warmer in the Azores. Finally calm enough to cook some real food. So before the peppers and stuff goes bad, making the sausage. So since our kind of fiasco this morning, it's actually been really nice sailing the rest of the day. The clouds even cleared up a little bit. So I've got the full mainsail up and full jib for tonight. The wind's gonna keep switching all night, I believe, but it's a nice amount of wind. The waves are really interesting. It's like the swell is coming from behind us, but the wind just switched 180 degrees, so the wind is coming from the front. So we have like waves coming from one direction and swell from the other. But actually it's pretty comfortable right now. As long as we can keep them up moving, I think we'll be okay. But kind of a weird sea state nonetheless. See them? This is amazing. They're just everywhere. I kind of want to swim with these guys. I can't believe that just happened. That was amazing. I was just swimming with those things. And then I started moving. They're still back there. They're still following me. And we're sailing directly downwind, wing on wing. Looks like we broke our boom vang. It's kind of in a pile there. But I think I could probably find a shackle to fix that. It's not really an essential piece of hardware, it just kind of keeps the boom held down when we're wing on wing like this. And actually with the preventer, that kind of does part of the job for me. Kind of gloomy out today. We are sailing downwind at about 5 knots, and we should make it to Ireland day after tomorrow. gotta love it when you're sailing fast. It's 2 a.m. I'm really tired. We had this weird kind of frontal boundary layer thing moving across us right now. I've had to put the foul weather gear on and off as much of rain. It's really windy right now. I already put one reef in the mainsail, and I think I really would like to have a second reef in, but I'm just so tired of going out there adjusting. I'm trying to avoid that. We're doing 7 knots, which is really too fast for the boat to be steering well. Keeps kind of trying to round up, even though I've got the sails eased all the way out. It's annoying. I kind of just want to go to sleep, but we're getting close. Less than 200 miles from Kinsale. That's the plan. Tomorrow is where the really strong wind starts, so they'll definitely have the sails all the way reefed, or maybe just a little bit of jib, and possibly ready to go bare poles or use the drogue if that gale moves further south on us. So the rolling on the boat finally got so bad I had to put my my lee cloth on. I was even with that tilted, I was coming out of bed, falling on the floor, having to hold on. But this thing will hold me in, no problem. We are rocking like crazy right now. Beautiful day today. Ships are getting more frequent. Yeah, we got 2 right now within like 8 miles. I think that means I'm gonna have to do 10-minute watches tonight. So maybe I'll take some naps during the day just so I can be well rested if I end up having to stay up all night. Actually, I might have to stay up all night because the wind's gonna be so strong. It could get kind of crazy actually. So as a measure of caution, I'm getting my series drogue ready to go. And this is my heavy weather sailing strategy, basically. I've got about a 10-pound weight on the end, and then that's attached to this really strong Dyneema braided line. And then braided into them are all these cones, which I sewed. I just made this out of an old sail, and I just put some, they're just kind of these 6 drogue cones, and they're every about foot or two. And I don't know, maybe I've got like 80 cones in here, and a couple hundred feet of line. And that attaches to a bridle off the back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get it attached. So if I do need to use it, all I gotta do is throw it overboard. I don't have to worry about hanging over the side. Trying to attach to those chain plates would not be very fun. It would be probably waves would be breaking over me by the time I need to use it. So let's get this attached and ready to go. Okay, so the drogue is all hooked up. When it's ready to deploy, I just toss this bridle over the wind vane, and then I can just deploy it over the rail right here. Now we're up to 4 ships on the AIS, all within 15 miles. Right, I put the fishing line in, and it's only been, gosh, a few minutes. We've already got something on the line. Hopefully it's a fish. Man, this thing is pulling hard. I've not had anything this. Right, this much yet. Just slow the boat down. We'll heave 2. Okay, let's heave 2. Okay, how do I heave 2? Oh shoot, we got the pole out. Darn it. What can I do? Put the jib away. Turn that, drop that line. What do I do? jibs away. That didn't slow us down hardly any. Let's get this fish in. Okay. Wow. Ooh. No. No. Do not come off. Gotcha. No. That's a big one. Good one. Woo! Yeah! Ha-ha! Look at that guy. All right, let me get a towel. I got you. Here's our catch of the day. Look at that guy. It's beautiful. So it's kind of a challenge to play this fish with the boat rocking this hard, but we're gonna do our best. Definitely some good meat in there. Okay. Alright, we got a ton of fish out of this. It really makes me want to get a freezer so I could have gotten more. But this will I probably won't even be able to eat all this before it goes bad. That's some good tuna. So just realizing there wasn't actually all that much stuff in the fridge, and I don't really care if the cheese and stuff goes bad. I really want to save all this this meat. I got about like 8 pounds of really good meat, so I'm gonna turn the fridge into a freezer. 30 degrees. All right, I got this thing packed full of fish. Of course, now that I turned the fridge into a freezer, I get to feel guilty about not getting more meat off of that fish. But honestly, I think I'll probably be eating fish for the next 2 weeks, and I'll probably be tired of it by then, so I think I got plenty. And the boat is rocking so hard. That was probably one of the most difficult fishes I ever had to clean. Basically, the rail was buried in the water for half of it. So now I'm going to put the 4th reef in the sail and get the boat tidied up for nighttime. I think I'm probably going to be staying awake all night, watching for ships. The AIS just shows so many. We're getting near the English Channel and where all the ships come through. Looks like quite a massacre out here. The sun just set. We've had quite a nice day of sailing. I just put my 4th reef in. I have the jib mostly furled up in preparation for this gale we're about to get tonight. Nothing to do now except for enjoy the ride. Waves are building. What's that? Maybe that one's probably 12 feet. Winds have gotten to the upper 20s. Pickle sailing pretty well with it. Gale warning until this afternoon. I don't think it should get too much stronger than this, and we're doing 7 knots, which is pretty awesome. I think it's time to go out and hand steer. We just, the boom tried to jibe, and I don't want to risk that happening again. I'm surprised I see another sailing yacht. It's out there. Where is it? There it is. Someone else as crazy as me to be out here. Hate to be sailing into this wind. Sounds brutal. So the sun finally came up. I feel like the wind is kind of easing out. The waves are just as big, but I think the wind vane should be able to steer from here, so I'm gonna go back down and watch some movies. Sun's coming out. Feels like a beautiful day now. Whoa, here it comes. The water just turned from blue to green, which means we're getting close to shore. We're getting close to land, so I'm gonna dig through my collection of flags and see if I can find Ireland in here. There we go. Land ho! So we're coming into Kinsale, and we're coming in about 7 to 8 knots, which means we're definitely have at least a knot of current, maybe knot and a half, maybe 2 knots. Gonna get the boat ready for anchoring. The anchor is not on the front right now, but I think I'll probably just use one of my smaller anchors for now. I'm enjoying that sweet smell of land after being at sea for 11 days. Yeah, we made it to Ireland. 11 days at sea. I think we covered 1,700 miles with all the tacking. So I'll be honest, at this point, I didn't film anymore because all that was on my mind was to get to the pub and have a couple pints of Guinness, which I did, and it was glorious. After that, the night became a little bit of a blur, honestly. But the next day, I checked in with customs, got all straightened out. So if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, think about hitting the subscribe button. And if you got anything out of it, maybe even think about making a contribution. There's links in the descriptions. Thanks to everybody who has. You guys are what allow me to keep going on these sailing adventures and sharing these videos with y'all. I hope I see you in the next video. We'll be exploring some more of Ireland.